should be showing up. I'm going to refresh. So bear with us, guys. It's the first time I've done this on IAC page with this many people. Okay, I'm just checking the Facebook page to see if it's showing up. Okay, 1 second, everyone. Give a chance for everybody to join in. Everybody get situated. I'm just checking the Facebooks to see if it's showing up there. Just 1 second, guys. Bear with us. Bear with us. Okay. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading. Okay. Hold on, a lot going on. Just seeing if it's live right now. Okay.
Hey, will you turn that light off? Come here. Come here.
If you've seen us live, guys, we're about a minute in. We're getting a little situated. Hold on. We have Victoria, Bo, and George here, Jennifer. And we're getting everything situated. George is directing. But give us a second. We have more people in our green room. Just 1 second. I'm just checking.
There you go. Better.
There we go. We are live. Okay, I see it right there. I'm just going to do something real quick. 1 second. Muting that. Sorry, I'm on my laptop on Wi-Fi, making sure this works. We do have some comments. It's showing in the feed. And it's showing in the feed. Great, great, great. Okay, guys, again, this is the first time I've done this many people. My name is Jason. I am on the board of directors with marketing is my focus. So I thought this would be a great way to talk to our canine community. I know it's crazy times right now. So I brought in a different type of trainers for all over our country. I think we're in Canada here too. Just so everybody know, we are going to be working on either next week or maybe even sooner, another group like this, especially if it goes well, for the EU, for the European members, as well as Australia. Everybody might know or should know Glenn Cook, and he's going to help get that together and probably host this weekend. Okay, so we didn't forget about our international members. We're just starting here. This was something I thought about this morning and said, hey, let's get everybody together and talk and help each other and be the IACP family that I know it to be and really help each other out. So right now I'm just going to go through a few comments. So we got Patrick, and he's talking about remember next. Okay, yep, saw that. These are, I guess, just from before it went live. Okay, we have Deborah checking in from Falcon Lake, Canada. So we have Canada here. Thank you, thank you. Nate's checking in. Nate Lieberman from Oregon. Eve's looking good, gang. Maylee's checking it. You can tell fourth screen. Our real president. I don't know if you've seen Bill Church. He's called me the president a few times. Pretty funny. But we got Melanie checking in. Cameron, don't want to mess up your last name. Looking good. Fred, Barbara the group's here. Awesome. She's Salinas from California. So everything's looking good. If you have any questions, put it up. But right now, and we have Marcia Davey from Australia. Great. So we're getting that international people as best we can. We tried to do this a little later for the West Coast and East Coast so we can work together. So I'm just going to go clockwise and maybe start with Victoria. Can you just talk a little bit about you and how you're dealing with what is it, Corona-19, coronavirus, and how it's affecting our industry, and what are you doing to keep things moving and helping out your clients and dogs everywhere? Okay.
So, yeah, we're in Florida, so there are, starting to lock down everything. It's a little bit weird. It reminds me of whenever we have hurricane evacuations. But we have one thing that we've had in place, and then we have a new thing that we started today. And what that is what we've had is our online school. So we've had online school. We've been doing video sessions with our clients. We have a calendar set up. We use Calendly for that. And then I use Teachable for my online course, my online school. And we have people who will do that. And then once they sign up for a private session, it's depending on what they have. If they have FaceTime or Skype, or Facebook Messenger has a good video platform as well. So they can choose one of those to learn, to work with us no matter where they're at. Because we do train service dogs, we train dogs from all over the country. And sometimes it's not feasible to just do a phone call. You know, I need to see what's going on. One of the things that helps with that is whenever I'm working with them, I have one of my dogs. I try to have all the gear that we're going to need. So as I'm instructing, you do have to be able to describe it and have people understand what it is that you need them to do. But I also have my dog, so if we do need the visual demonstration of it, we can do that.
That sounds great. I'm hearing a little double audio. I don't know if you're hearing it with you, Victoria, but that's great advice. It's, you know, we have to use our technology the best we can. And nowadays there's a lot of technology. What we're using right now is a BeLive format that allows you to do multiple people. I can post comments up here. And Nate's asking if you put names of the apps in the comments. Yeah, after, if we can remember, guys, send me or just post the links on the feed of all the apps that you're using. That'll help other people. Okay, I'll show you how that works. Here's Nate's comment. Okay, so I muted other people. We're working through the sound issues. I know Krista brought that up. Thank you. So I'm trying to figure how that works. Again, this is all new to me, guys. So I'm figuring this out. Okay, so I'm gonna, Victoria, you're muted right now. Sorry, I unmuted you. I'm trying to figure where the extra feedback's coming from. Victoria, you're back on. Thank you.
So I have a list here. I can't seem to comment over in the comment section.
Yeah.
So I will get that written up whenever I'm off screen for you guys.
Great. You could, yeah, everybody after, if you can, just remember to go back in there and we'll add the comments. Sorry, I'm just, again, it's the first time I've had this many people. We have Chad Mackin and many others and Adrian in the green room, D Holt. And I think John Ilmer's there too. So that's our green room. We're working through this. So we're going to work that out. Okay, so bear with us first time. But again, this is BeLive, and we'll put the other apps in there as well. Things that you can use to help connect with your local and current clients, all these apps. But also remember, this is an opportunity to use your business to maybe start helping people not in your local area and build a business that way. Thank you, Victoria. I am going to now bring on we'll bring George. No, we're going to do clockwise. Like I said, we're going to bring George on. So George.
Yeah.
You and Jennifer, you guys are, Jessica, sorry. I'm messing up everybody's names here. Sorry. I unmuted you. So George, if you want to tell us a little bit about you guys, what you're doing, and, you know, how you're keeping alive and moving things forward in this canine world we got going on.
We're sheltering in place mainly because I'm highly vulnerable or susceptible to getting this virus. We're staying in touch with the office and things, and we'll certainly answer any questions from clients and all that. But mostly what we're doing is making sure we're taking care of ourselves, and that would be the message I'd have for everybody. If you can't take care of yourself, or if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be taking care of any dogs or your business. So make sure that you are taking time to make sure that you're okay and continue to be okay. I've been at this for, of course, many, many decades. And I've been through tough times before, recessions and all that stuff, and it'll come out the other end. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. That's what we're doing.
Thank you. So George and Jen, you got a comment from Miss Myers over there. If you can see it, one eye on Outlander, one eye on George and Jen.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Robin Myers over there.
Yeah, it's Jessica, by the way. It's Jessica.
That's Hutchins. What I said, and she said Jen. I'm like,
No.
I have a lot of names in my head right now, so bear with me.
The famous
Jessica Hutchins.
So
yeah, who also just joined the IACP marketing team. She's going to help out with volunteering her time as much as she can to help move things forward. Really appreciate it. I can take all the help I can need. I can only do so much, but really help out. Really appreciate it. So tell us what you're doing. I mean, you guys have a family, facility. How are you moving things forward? What's going on there?
So the big thing since last Monday, we've kind of shut down the in-facility part of the training team. What we're going to start doing moving forward is offering virtual lessons, consultations, and anything that we can do online, like a lot of our colleagues are doing at this point. Everybody still needs help training their dogs, and they still need the professional assistance. So we're doing it one step at a time.
Thank you. So Robin says, oops, mistype as usual. No, it's all right. Well, it's all good. So we all love you. Yeah. So thank you. And we'll come back. We're just going to post up. Victoria did put up her comment here. Teachable for online school, Calendly to schedule, Facebook Messenger, Skype, FaceTime for video sessions. Thank you. I also saw Jen Freelick posted she's recording it so you don't miss it. So Jen and everybody else, once this is done, it automatically will, after a little bit, post to the IACP page and be available for viewing later for anybody that couldn't miss it or had to jump out at any time. All Facebook Lives will be available later, and I hope that helps as well. So now we're going to move on right now to Bo.
Hey, Jason.
I'm going to mute out George and Jessica.
Howdy.
Talk about what's going on with you.
Oh man, what a change, right? Like in no time at all, I went from being busier than I've ever been in my life to, I'm in the middle of remodeling a building for a new facility. So I'm just doing construction left and right. And then all of a sudden, I've got to stop that and lay off my 5 employees, close the business down, and then restart Cranky Canine dog training in my basement. And it is what it is. I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be a great way for me and my family to thrive and survive during this catastrophe. And on top of that, there is a lot of benefits to what happened, but it's also really terrible, right? The time with the family, time with the kid. My kid is here right next to me training dogs, and he has for the last couple of days.
That was too cute, the video you posted, man.
Dude, we're going to do it every day. I love it. I'm like, here, man, the dog's going to be trained. Here, have a leash. This is how you hold it. This is what your pressure, release. It's cool. It's awesome. He likes it. I like it. The dogs like it. The dogs are getting trained by kids, in the moment, It's like,
I'm sure your students are loving it.
Yeah, they are. We've got, I got a members only page, and all the clients are really liking it too. They're, the interaction. I used to not do a ton on Facebook because I was always busy with the building and just business and everything else. And then now it's like I've had 5 videos I put on Facebook just today.
Yeah.
So, but all my lessons are going to be online. I'm kind of switching the way the programs work, online coaching. And then I'm doing board and train. So at this point in time, somebody can bring me the dog. I just kind of clip my leash on and they take theirs off so I don't have to touch their leash. And then I take the pup in the house and then we get started. I give them back when I'm finished. And then all the lessons are online to where there's no face-to-face,
So I'm seeing a lot of people and, they're using this opportunity to learn a new skill, use a new way of training and seeing the positive in it. And what you mentioned, I don't know if a lot of people have it, but I find it invaluable. I have a closed Facebook group for my students, and I see you do too. It's a great way to keep together with them, and you can do these Facebook Lives in the group just for them.
Yeah.
Lessons. You can make a paid group too. I know Heather Beck has a great paid group. You can do a subscription, depending on what your content you're putting out there. I just have it as a benefit to my students. I think that's what you have too.
Well, I'm going to change it though. That's how.
Hey, bud.
that's how I've done it for the last 2 years, just adding people if they sign up. And I'm still going to add people that sign up, but I'm also going to put an $8 a month subscription on it. So if somebody wants to train their dog without hiring me, sure, you're in the group, $8 a month. Why not? But the people that work with me are grandfathered in, and they paid me for a boarding school, so they're just in. Do you know what I mean? But if you just find me and hit the right button on the right link, then we're subscribing to $8 a month or whatever.
Yep. So stay with us for a second. I'm just moving a few people off from the green room. In. So right now it's just me and you, Bo.
Okay.
But what you were saying was great. It's we really have to use those resources.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that because I know it was a hard transition. So we definitely have to keep that moving forward. Yep. So just 1 second, I'm going to keep you on. Just want to add in a few people from the green room.
Cool.
So we're going to add in. Okay, who's ready? I'm going to add in Babette. So get ready, Babette. I'm bringing you in. And I'm going to bring in Mr. Chad Mackin. Okay. D, you're up next.
Hey, guys.
Okay, I'm just mixing it up here a bit. Bo, anything else you want to bring on or add to the group? And you can bring you back on later if you want to.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as far as this goes, like we're all like switching to online work. We're all pushing our online stuff. So let's share each other's stuff and get it out there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Help each other out. That's about it.
Yep, family. Great, man. So I'm going to move you to the green room. Stay if you want to bring on later, but really appreciate you coming on. We'll try to do more of these, but, keep on keeping on, as they say, right? So I'm going to hide you right now. Love you, man.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry, I hid you too soon. Okay, so I'm going to bring one more on. D, I'm bringing you on. Get ready. Okay, D. Bring D on. Okay. So we got a new group here, a little talk show action, trying to do it. Let me just add everybody's name on. I got to do everything sort of one by one here. So 1 second, guys. Bear with me. There's Chad. Everybody knows Chad, but we'll add your name here too. There's Mr. Chad. And there is Babette. Okay. So everybody's name's up there. So again, I'm going to go clockwise. I'm going to mute everybody else. If you haven't muted yourself, it's helping with the feedback. So again, I'm learning this as well. So I'm going to unmute Miss Babette. Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about what you're doing, your company, and how you're surviving?
Well, very fast. Faster than a New York minute. So we were shut down by order. So I sat down with my accountant and my business manager, and the best thing for my employees was really to lay them off. So they've been laid off. My attorney I spoke to also, and she said with the new FMLA that's coming out April 2nd, it was financially the best thing for me as well as for my employees. And fortunately, my employees are all in positions that they're going to be okay. And I'll just briefly touch on that just so maybe somebody can learn from my experience or what I've learned is that I guess the way unemployment works is you get 60% of what you're making, at least in New Jersey. I don't know if it's true in all states, but the way the accountant explained it to me, she said, you're already seeing some cancellations, you're already seeing some changes. If you cut back their hours and in 3 to 4 weeks, you then have to start laying off one at a time, their unemployment checks will become smaller because their 60% is going to be smaller because you've already cut their hours. So before our state was going back and forth, everyone was arguing which politician was going to have the glory of shutting us all down. So we were shut down, then we weren't, but blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, it was more financially advantageous for me to cut them ASAP than later on. So we all have jobs coming back. They're not losing their vacation time, their sick time, nothing. They will get everything back.
And you're in Jersey, right?
Jersey. I'm in Jersey. It is rated as the worst state in the country for small business tax-wise. Yeah, I learned that after I opened up. Came from Florida. I got a little spoiled there. Regardless, So I'm throwing a lot of stuff up online. And, a wise man once told me, be careful what you wish for. And for a very long time, I've been saying, I would just love to spend the next chapter of my life on the beach, barefoot, training dogs, writing about dogs, and just videotaping and doing online training.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got exactly what I wished for, except for the um, so, I am actually excited about this. I think that we can all look at this as a blessing if we want, or a curse.
Yep.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on all of those little projects I've been wanting to work on. A couple of books I've been wanting to work on, just writing more generally, doing some video stuff, which unfortunately I laid off my social media person.
Oh
So,
no.
my social media is not going to be as good as it would be when she's around, but that's okay. But, I've already started online training, and that's a learning curve for me. One thing I've noticed, I only did some group classes yesterday. I noticed that people aren't as anxious to work their dogs, Jason, when they're online.
Yeah.
As when you're in a group class.
Totally.
Said to me, "Oh, he's sleeping. I don't want to wake him up." And I'm old school, man. Work those dogs. Work those dogs. Work those dogs. Heel. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Sure.
So, I'm going to learn a lot more, but doing phone consultations and online stuff. So I have a board and train dog that's going home tomorrow. I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
next Saturday. So I'll be taking the proper precautions, of course. But I'm also going to do an online session with them tomorrow, prepping them with a lot of things that I would normally do in person because I'm trying to minimize my in-person contact. I have 3 people in my household who are high risk. So I've locked myself down. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to just, they say 6 feet distance. I'm like 80 feet away from people.
Yeah. Safe. Yeah. Well, one thing I want to bring up what you talked about, it might be a nice topic for other people. How do we motivate people when they're home and we're not right in front of them is a challenge. I mean, is it, okay, this is a time we're meeting, it's still training time. I know when you have a facility, it's easier to demonstrate what you're doing. I'm in an apartment, so I'm working on an online program myself, but how do I, in a small Brooklyn apartment, demonstrate something and work? So I'm also looking at getting lighting for my apartment and different stuff like that. So what have you done maybe in your facility to get the video and angles that it works for people?
I haven't found the right formula yet. What I did was I did some live training videos on my Facebook page, just 15-minute things just to keep my current clients working with their dogs. Yesterday was actual online group classes it was like a brand new class that was scheduled to start yesterday in person. And I said, let's just bring these people online so I can keep them going.
Great.
And as far as keeping them motivated, that's a good question. I haven't quite figured it out. As far as the lighting goes, I am going to probably have to go back using my training facility. Yesterday, I used the basement in my house. I don't have nearly as much room.
Yeah.
And I think people are really patient that, it's not professional videography.
Yeah. Well, something I was talking to my buddy Kevin Lee. He's out in California, has backyard, a lot of outdoor space. Sunny California, you could do a lot more things outside and use natural light. Something I was bringing up from him from my previous art director background, when you're working on a photo shoot or video, having almost, if you ever seen a set, and I know you've worked on commercials, Babette, there's like an X mark. This is where you need to stand, right? So almost having like, set the camera up and say, okay, where am I full frame? How far can I go out and make it work? So sometimes something like that, doing test stuff might help to figure out your space based on the camera's depth perception and things like that can definitely help. I also saw on Facebook, which I'm looking into, I actually have a small little ring light right here that helps my bad lighting in my apartment a little bit. And I'm looking maybe into different type of lighting to light my small apartment or basement. And I was looking on Amazon, it's not that expensive. I'll talk to a photographer buddy of mine and maybe try to add some links in this group too, or maybe later someone can chime in with any other suggestions. One thing I was thinking, I'm doing one-on-one talking with you. I don't know if it would be good to have the other people chime in if the sound's not bad. What do you guys think about that? Want to give it a try, Dee and Chad? Yeah, let me see. I'm going to unmute you guys if it doesn't make it a nightmare, and maybe make more of a group chat. That's what I'm going to try. You guys all know each other. So I'll step out. Maybe, Chad, Dee, maybe you guys want to chime in on what we've both been saying?
Hi, Chad. Don't touch your face. I see you touching your face.
It's yeah.
Yeah,
I am.
I just wanted to chime in. Babette, nice to meet you virtually. I'm Dee, in Miami, Florida. And although no one likes to hear of other people's, we're all going through the same thing, it is comforting knowing we're all going through the same thing. So I think it's just really important for members watching also to know, like, again, we're all going through the same thing, and that's why we're here. I have the largest pet dog training facility in South Florida, or I did up until Monday or Tuesday. And just like Bo found himself, and it sounds like Babette found herself having to close things down, I had to lay off 30 of my people, all 30 of my people on Tuesday. I went from having a facility that generates, $2 million in revenue a year to nothing after about a week. So it's been devastating to say the least, but it sounds like everyone's doing the right thing, and I've had a lot of time to think during the emotional roller coaster that's been the last week. I'm sure for all of us that are facility owners, especially, and we have this overhead that now we're just so panicked about that we just don't know what to do. But one idea I had today was, it occurred to me that because I've been in business for 16 years, I definitely, and I think a lot of us are in the same position, I have a network of high net worth clients, or very well connected clients, that I usually wouldn't go to those people and ask for referrals the same way that I might ask for referrals of my normal people, whatever that is. And it occurred to me today that this is really now the time to ask those people to support you, not financially, but by giving you referrals, because their friends can probably still afford our service right now, and they're going to be able to still afford our service into this.
Great point. And yeah, I think all three of you are working at facilities. Obviously, everyone's a little different, but everybody's trying to do something in them. So, Dee, are you still doing anything at the facility?
Not right now. I mean, aside from going back and feeding my facility cats every other day, I haven't really been back there. And I've moved all my group classes to my backyard. I have been thinking about dog trainers that maybe are in colder places than I am here in Florida. So I have the luxury of being able to be outside and tell everyone, like, stand 10 feet apart, and if anyone's sick, don't come. So unless we end up on some sort of mandate that we're not allowed to do that, I'm still trying to fulfill as many packages as I can for people, which again is overwhelming because I went from having a staff of 30 to just me. So now I have to do everything. But there was a point when I did do everything. I'm 16 years older now, but I'm still a hustler, so I can get it done. So still running group classes out of my yard, really trying to talk anyone that has outstanding private lesson packages, like big packages, to letting me do a board and train. So I have 3, it's not new revenue, but I have 3 dogs that are coming in actually tomorrow on Monday. And that at least helps me sleep at night, because then I don't feel like I have customers out there that just dropped $1,500 with my company and suddenly they're out that money. So I'm excited to get those dogs in, at least to get those programs fulfilled so that I can sleep better, and then those people can refer us business, or me business, I should say.
That's great. I got a comment here from Vanessa talking about how she's trying to help out with stuff, and she definitely bought a tripod. She holds her phone while she videos, and she spent the entire work doing how-to videos for her clients. Sounds awesome. Also videos outside, walks, and also her dog room. I need a dog room. I don't know, maybe I'll get rid of my bedroom and make it into a dog room. Already has all my crates in there. Okay, but she has a tripod, and mark your area to work in. That's, again, very important. So Babette, you were on a lot of commercials, right? Training some dogs for commercials. I know
Oh,
you.
she's muted.
She's muted. I thought you muted yourself. I'm unmuting you. It's okay. You're back, Babette. I don't know. I keep trying to unmute you. I don't know if you muted yourself. There you go. So Babette,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thanks.
Okay, great. Sorry. So yeah, I've done commercials, supplied dogs for commercials, plays, print ads, soap operas, things like that, TV shows.
So yeah.
Oh no, go ahead.
So I'm just trying to think. Can you talk a little bit about how they got everybody to be in place to work on the camera? Because you've seen a lot of that behind the scenes.
Right. Don't stand in front of the camera. I try to, always treat it like I, even in my group classes, I'll show from every different angle. So the people on one side can see the other side, and I gotta stop putting my hands in front of my face. So, don't stand in front of the camera because they can't see you if you're blocking the dog. Don't block the dog. Stand behind the dog. So, and I try to show it in different angles so people can see it. And I try to move in and get closer. Of course, now that it's just me filming, it's hard for me to like zone in and really like hone in on my hand, for example. So there is some back and forth. Um, and I'm learning that, using the laptop or the desktop is better than my phone because my phone, I started to film the other day. I didn't realize I was sideways until like halfway through. um, so, and definitely the lighting and try to keep light colored dogs. It's harder to see the black dogs when you're,
Great
especially if
point.
you're demonstrating something really close. I have two board and trains right now. One's like a chocolate little Aussie. So he's a little bit darker than I prefer, but it's okay too. As long as I'm using good lighting.
Yeah. That's why it's love being in warm places. You can go outside. You got the best lighting. Just gotta make sure you're not backlit with the sun. But yeah, great opportunities there. Chad, let's hear from you a little bit. You're quiet back there, which is not really normal for you.
Well, I'm actually interested in what everyone else is saying, and I want to apologize. They made me take my glasses off earlier because the glare was too bad, so I can't read any of the comments people are putting up. But so yeah, a couple of things like Babette mentioned about the videoing. Now, I have been videoing stuff for a long time, and I have been preparing, and I'm not pulling the trigger on it just yet, but I've been preparing for some online stuff for about a year now, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of those pieces in place. I've been shooting videos for a while now. Part of my group class has been midweek updates. So between week one, between the orientation and the first night we get together with the dogs, they get an email with some videos to work on it. And all the way through the class, they get these midweek updates, which are really good because they're helping me connect with clients right now.
Nice.
But a couple of production questions that people are answering. If now everything I say, I'm an Apple guy, so everything I say is iOS.
Me too.
Or Mac. So if you're on Android, some of this stuff might or might not help you. I don't know. But number one, there's an app, and I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called Movie Pro, but I'm not sure. It's something like that. One of the really cool things is it allows you to use a wireless like a Bluetooth headset as your mic while you're videoing. So I can be away from my phone. It sounds like I'm right next to it with my AirPod in my ear. And that's really, really helpful because sometimes you want to get far away. Another thing is I have this, there's an app for iOS called Video Leap, which is hands down the best video editing software I've ever seen for mobile. And it's comparable. Like I have Final Cut Pro on my computer, which is like a fairly high-end film editing program. And I do 90% of my editing on my phone with Video Leap because it's so much easier to use, and I can do almost everything with Video Leap that I can do that I need to do with Final Cut Pro. Like there's stuff I can do with Final Cut Pro that I could not do on Video Leap, but it's so powerful, it's so useful, so helpful. And so like what Babette was saying, I'm working on a video right now. I shot a video of myself working with a dog, and I was describing what I was doing with my hands. And what I literally did was I just, the next day I put my camera on a tripod and held my hand up like right in front of the camera. And I shot that, and I'm just going to overlay that video in Video Leap on top of the rest of it. So you can see what I'm doing. It's real easy. So those are my big tips. Invest in some decent editing software, even if it's mobile. Oh yes. And but with that video app I'm talking about, the recording app, it won't let you record in the portrait mode. It always defaults to landscape, so you can't make that mistake. So it's really cool. And just the heads up where we are right now, like I don't own the facility. I don't make any secrets about that. I never wanted to run a big business. I like to train dogs. That's what I get to do. We have shut down pretty much all of our training. We may start off. I've done some. I had a client send me. That's another good piece of advice, and my client came up with this. If you want to work with people, maybe you don't have a setup to do a live back and forth where you can watch them very well, because it's good, because there's not only you setting up your camera, there's your client setting up their camera, and you're not being able to see necessarily what they're doing. What this client did was she shot a bunch of videos of her doing her homework, and then she uploaded them to YouTube as unlisted videos. So if you upload them YouTube as unlisted, nobody searching YouTube is going to find them. But then she sent me an email with the links in it. I watched all the videos, and then we had a phone conversation about what was going on in the videos. And that would have given me an opportunity to shoot a different video, say, hey, try doing this instead. And so the whole model of we meet at this time to do this thing, that can be shifted in these times. Like, we don't have to be meeting together. They can shoot that video anytime they want and send it to you. And you can come look at it when you have a chance and shoot. It becomes harder if you're trying to keep track of how many lessons they've got. But if your goal is, I just want to help these people get through this time, I found that to be really super helpful. So those are but consider this in many states that are doing lockdowns right now. Yeah. One of the things that's being allowed is pet food retailers. Yeah. So if you're selling pet food in your store, you can remain open for that business. That's great tip. And we are also staying open for our daycare for people who are working at essential businesses, first responders, doctors, nurses, grocery store people that have to go to work. We are going to continue to provide that service for them so that they don't have to worry about what's going to happen with my dog when I'm gone. So there are places where we are still valuable as professionals. Even if we can't be doing these lessons, there are things we can offer to the people who need help, who are working in these jobs, and we don't have to just do nothing. I mean, check with your attorneys in your states and your cities. Like, we called the city, we talked to them about everything. So it's not like we just made a decision on our own. You know what I mean? Like we have. Don't just assume you're okay. Check with your local city. Check with your state if you have to. Look what the governor's statement does. I know we called a bunch of daycares in California. We went online and we looked at daycares in California because we knew this was coming here in Illinois. And we called a bunch of daycares in California. They were all still open as essential businesses. So if you have it, check before you assume you're out of business. Check with somebody and find out, because maybe there's more room there than you think.
More great tips. Someone was asking for any Android apps or stuff anybody here recommends. If not, maybe from people in the green room might have.
I'm like Chad. I'm an Apple girl through and through.
Me too.
I love the tip with the earbuds, especially if you're going to be doing a live with a client. Wear your what are they called? AirPods. I always call them earpods. AirPods. Yeah. So that you can move and your clients can still hear you perfectly. And I always suggest to the client, if I'm doing like an online live dog train, that if they also wear earpods, that'll really help. So That was a great tip, Chad.
Let me put a question up here because we do have people here talking about daycare and boarding. So Cameron's talking about how are you handling the backlash from clients that are upset you're keeping the daycare open. How are you communicating with them, client relations?
I guess Cameron's saying because they say we're not doing our part. Like, is that it? That, like, how dare we continue to run services when we should all be home quarantining?
Yeah, it's just a comment someone brought up. And, we're going to have people that are going to like, not like, and customer relations is part of our business. So have you had people talk about things? How are you keeping lines of communication open?
I haven't seen it so far.
Okay,
go ahead.
Great.
You haven't seen it. I only had one. Like, I have one customer that when I sent out my email saying, like, you're invited, come to my backyard, let's do this. She happens to be like a virologist with her PhD, and she sent me this whole long thing. But I think such a small minority. I think most people are really appreciative, and if they, they want to still take advantage of the service, they will. And if they don't, they're pretty much just keeping their mouth shut. So like, I haven't really had that much backlash either from people, but I think really what Chad said is important. Like, there are people, first responders and others, that they need a solution for their dog. And so, if we're really going to support them as professionals, like, someone has to stay open. So we can only do our best by assuring them we're taking precautions with, if you're saying leashing up, using our own leash, trying to maintain our social distancing distance. And, as long as we have those things posted and we keep saying it over and over, this is what we're doing, I think that's the only way to mitigate the people who still think we're crazy for staying open.
So, and the truth is we have to go in anyway and take care of dogs. There's dogs there that need to be fed. They need to be walked. So someone's got to go in there anyway, number one. So we have reduced our drop off and pick up hours. So we're only open for a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the evening for drop off and pickup. But while people are there anyway, we're going to let their dogs socialize and learn how to be good dogs around each other. And we're going to provide that service. And we're doing curbside. We're not having anybody come in the building. We're going out to meet them, putting our leash on them, letting them take their equipment. So there's no cross contaminations. Like, we're trying to be careful about this.
Yeah.
But we really felt it was important that our clients, this is not about us making money, because we're not going to make a profit in this time that, with the amount, because we're telling even our Facebook page, listen, if you're not an essential service, if you don't have business to be out, don't just drop your dog off to daycare. Right? This is for people who are supposed to be out, and we have a lot of those. We have vets, we have doctors, we have grocery store people, we have people who work in these industries that are still running this country right now, still keeping all of us, with what we need. We have pharmacists, so no, we're not like just taking in every dog. We're just telling people shelter in place if you can, but if you have to go out, if you're essential. If you're taking care of this essential approved business and you need a place to keep your dog, we're here anyway, taking care of the boarding dogs. Like we're gonna help you out. It's not a money grab, and we frame it as helping the community in our Facebook post, because that's how we see it, I think. And so far the response has been awesome. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not just trying to play a martyr. Like, we're risking this coronavirus for these people, but because I don't feel like I'm in a high risk group. So I'm happy to take one for the team, so to speak, in that regard. But the thing is, like, it is not about us getting rich. Like, people need this service. We are a valuable part of the community, and I think it's really important that we consider ourselves that way. So I'm not getting a lot of it. I haven't seen any of it on the comments to our post on the Facebook page yet. But we have a great clientele already, and they understand. Like, to be honest with you, we've been seeing people self-quarantining all week. Our daycare numbers have been down all week, so we don't have to tell them to do that. Most people are doing the right thing right now, so I'm not real super stressed about that. But again, I'm not giving legal advice here, man. Check with your city, state, county, whatever you have to do. Don't assume I know what the hell I'm talking about, because I don't even own the place. I'm just an employee. But I know that we're still doing what we're doing in the limited capacity that we can, and that's what matters.
Thanks again, Chad. So I'm gonna Dee, you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jason, I want to add one more thing for everybody before I have to peace out. So if you have not, hopefully we all have websites. And if you have not already updated your website to make it really clear to our customers that we are still in operation, that is critical. It is absolutely critical. If you were to go to my website right now, the first thing you're going to see at the top is yes, I'm still training dogs. And then immediately, like, click here for like COVID-19 modified rates and services. Like, I just want to make it so clear to people, because now, I agree with Chad, but then the businesswoman in me disagrees. Chad, I am looking to make a profit during COVID-19. What are you talking about, Chad? Just kidding.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be profitable. D Holt's gonna be profitable here.
Exactly.
So I want to make sure that I do not lose a customer. I cannot afford to lose a customer right now. So they have to know I'm open. And I was on another call with a business like coaching group that I'm in. And one of the guys whose forte is sales was like, if you don't have like a live chat option right now on your website, you're losing business. And so I was like, that's brilliant. And I called my web guy and I'm like, hey, Roberto, you know that $200 a month I'm still going to have to pay you right now? Like, you're the only one I'm paying. Put a live chat bot on my website right now. And it's already working, you know, because when everyone's kind of scrambling, deciding who's going to help them with training, when they assume no one's available, they're going to be like, oh, I can chat with a trainer right now. And if it's 2 a.m. and my chat goes off, guess what? I'm waking up right now. I will talk to you right now.
Yeah. You work when it works there. So unless anybody has something to add here, sounds like Chad does. And then I'll start adding a few more people that are in the stream.
It's just one thing to what Dee said about making a profit. I think that's awesome. And don't get me wrong. Here's what I always say. I come from a line of thought that says no business should be in business to make a profit. Every business should be profitable. That's our fundamental fiduciary responsibility. But every one of us should be in business to serve our community. That should be our number one goal. Now, to do that, we have to make good margins, because if we're struggling, we can't be as helpful as we want to be. So we have a responsibility. But I don't wake up in the morning and say, how much money can I make training dogs today? I wake up in the morning and saying, how many people can I help with their dogs today? Or how much can I help my clients today? And how do I price that in a way that I can continue to do that without worrying forever? That's what I mean when I say we're not out to make a profit. Right now, if we take a hit right now serving the community, in the long-term vision, that is fine, but we can't do that forever, obviously. But when I say we're not in it to make a profit, right now our thinking is, how do we best serve our community? And then the second bit is, how do we keep our doors open while we do that? So I'm not trying to slam profits, but I really believe that any industry where we're in it just to make money, it's problematic. And in this industry, especially where we have people's pets and loved ones involved, I think it's definitely something we want to avoid.
I think the reality is when you do serve your community, like you're saying, because I agree with you, that's why you make a profit. Like those of us who are really good at what we do, serving our community, that's why we're profitable, you know. And of course, you want to make a profit, because the quicker I can rehire my people, then the quicker we can all get back to normal. So it's both. I agree with that. It's both goals.
Sounds great, guys. So I'm gonna bring in Adrian. I'm looking at her in stream. I'm gonna bring Adrian on. And if Victoria wants to come back, we can talk more with Victoria. So Babette, Dee, and Chad, really appreciate this coming on. Great tips. I also want to do a shout out to everyone that's on the feed. You'll see later. So many great tips, so many great links. Chad, you had some questions directed towards you about some things too. So really appreciate. This is my goal, was to help everyone help each other out. So the video, we're talking, but also in the feed. Let's keep this going. We'll do it again. So I'm going to bring a few more people in. Thanks again. I'm going to do a little swap right now. Have a great night. So I'm going to bring a few more people in. So I am going. Thank you. Hide you. And I'm going to bring in Adrian. I'm going to hide Mr. Chad unless you want to come back on. So I'm back on. So I only have 3, unless Chad, you want to stay on? I think Chad always wants to. We'll keep Chad on. I think other people dropped out. If anybody else also wants to jump on, we're about in an hour. So I'm trying to keep this to an hour. But I can bring people from the feed to on this. I'm just going to add some names back on. Okay, we'll start, obviously. Okay, so I'm gonna bottom now. Look at that. I'll change. So Adrian, I'm gonna unmute you and unmute. I think everybody should be unmuted now. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your business. You're out in Texas.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So just the weirdness of being on my phone and being in the green room, I could not hear a thing anybody else was saying.
Oh no!
So if I repeat, hey, it's cool. I was trying to watch on my computer. I have my computer.
Yeah, but your internet, you were saying, is tough, right?
So I was trying to watch, but then I was like, oh, the feedback's gonna drive Jason crazy, so I muted it. So if I repeat anybody,
that's for headsets. Next time you put your headset in, I wouldn't hear it.
Well, my husband literally came out while I was. was like, I got some stuff for you next time.
Awesome. We'll do this again. So yeah, tell us about a little bit your business, what you're doing out there.
Yeah, so I really just, I'm a board and train, primarily board and train out of my home. I do private lessons. I don't really do group classes, simply because there's only about 6 days in Texas where the weather cooperates for something like that, and everyone's comfortable. It's either way too hot or it's miserable, raining and damp and cold. So, so I was literally going to break ground 2 weeks ago on my training building. I'm pointing at the area of my property where I was going to put it, and then all of this happened, and I decided to keep that nest egg in reserve. I still plan on doing it this year. I'm going to do it no matter what. Happening. It's going to happen, and I'll be able to do group classes there. But otherwise, board and trains, the phone has been silent for about a week. I'm not freaking out at all. Most of my business is word of mouth. I have definitely amped up. I've never before have I done any traditional marketing, anything or connectivity with my clients as far as like newsletters or mass emails.
Mm-hmm.
It's been very one-on-one. I'll call someone and check on them. I'll text them.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never done any of that. I'm doing it now.
Great.
I'm learning how to set up online group classes, which I used to laugh at. They're all going to be.
What's the new program you came up with? You just posted about?
I have three.
Awesome.
I have a puppy protocol, and that's because I have an 8-week-old doodle right now, and I have a 13-week-old silver lab. And I'm like, why not use this? And I'm making
Wonderful.
a bunch of videos of these 2 puppies to use for a puppy protocol course for pet dogs. I've got an enrichment course, which is just, it's for fun, really. Like setting up your markers, clicker training, or yes, conditioning, I don't care. DIY puzzles or showing people my favorite puzzles that I've gotten on Amazon, or both. Basic tricks, time-honored tricks,
Great.
luring, confidence building, wobble boards.
Wobble boards, huh?
I love
they're so much
I
fun.
have like 6 different kinds of wobble board. Just basic, just fun stuff. And most of it I'm doing everything that I'm doing 2 different versions. One with stuff that you have around the house already, or
Smart.
most people do. And the other one is, or you could buy this and get it delivered and do it on this. Right? So if I'm like guiding a dog up onto a step 360 or a climb, I'm literally pulling out the biggest soup pot that I have, and I'm guiding these dogs up to stand on the soup pot.
Super smart.
Right? So just try, or I have my nose work buckets, and then I'm showing people how to just like cut holes in a Tupperware and be like, don't ever use this Tupperware again.
Let me ask you a question based on that. I think that's great. You're giving them ways to do things around the house. They're stuck in the house. Stores are usually closed right now. So that's an awesome idea. And also, I got to give you props. The designs and stuff you're putting together, it's really, really engaging and great. But you talked about all different actually training equipment and things maybe they can buy on Amazon or somewhere else. Are you maybe thinking about putting that on a site or your own Amazon page so you can make some money and sell it to that?
Yeah, I think I am now. I've never done it before.
Yeah.
I've usually given my clients the option. I've given them a suggested. I don't sell things. I'm not doing sales tax. I don't do that. If they buy things from me, it's more of a reimbursement that is included as a dog training equipment service, right? It really just reimburses the costs that I spend on the equipment. If they purchase equipment for me, it comes out to zero. But now, if people are going to be purchasing things from Amazon, I think I am going to set up myself as there is that account that you can make where you provide them a link and then you get a percentage, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about.
That's one of them. There's many different ways. There's things you can build it into your website. That one of the ways is through Amazon. Just another, way to get, some income. But I think that's great. If you're saying use this, here's where you can buy it. I think that'd be a great addition too.
Yeah. So that's definitely on my radar. I haven't set it up yet. I've been going a little bit nuts just trying to set up the classes. I've never created a Facebook group before. So just learning how to set up units and putting up my curriculum in order for these new things, and doing test runs. Like I'm obsessive about, I don't want it to be a fly by night.
Can you talk a little bit? Because you brought some great points. I'm not even doing it. But when you create a Facebook group, they give you options to create units and ways for people to achieve things. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and how you can use it?
So you can create a well, I have about 12 hours of experience with this. So, but you can create a Facebook group and it will ask you what category this group is in, and you can put social and learning. And if you put social and learning, it automatically puts a button up there for units. If you don't, if you just put community or whatever, you can always add it in later. But units allows you to actually, anytime you post something, you post a video or a post or a file, you can categorize them into the units that they belong to. So instead of, you can do it either by chronological units, like everyone goes through unit 1, then unit 2, then unit 3, or the way I'm doing it is I have a unit for tricks, a unit for handling and fitness, a unit for what, like you can set it up however you want. But the idea is, instead of people having to scroll like crazy back through, because these are only 3-week courses, these are not memberships. I'm not setting up memberships. I'm saying you pay $99 to $149 for a 3-week course. And during that 3 weeks plus a few days, you can access all of the material.
Sounds good. Just want to interrupt you for a second.
And then when that's over, plus a few days, I'll give them a few days to like hurry up and take some screen recordings if they want to or whatever. I'm shutting it down. And then I'm going to start the next iteration. Right. And the cool thing about that is then I can like piggyback, and I'm going to reuse some of these videos, but I'm going to go live every like once or twice a week for question and answers and to introduce new things. And then I'll post videos that exemplifies what I'm introducing. So, and the thing is too, I want this to be organic. So the group that I have coming in right now, I'm really interested to see how this goes, because so far half of this group for my enrichment course, which can I swear?
No swearing. We're on the IACP page.
I'm not.
You know, don't pull a J-Jack on me.
He's saying no, don't do it. I really, this is my pilot course. Yeah. I've never done it before. So I was like, let's just do a bull crap enrichment course. It's just full of dumb stuff. I'm doing so great. It's just dumb.
You can do simple stuff, simple things to help people.
I can't hear you, Jason.
You cannot hear me. Interesting. Really? Still can't hear me? Interesting. Might unmute. Can everybody else hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, that was weird. Okay, glitch. Just let anybody now. We have a pause anyway. I brought John and Lorraine. Chad, I pushed into the green room. He
can't hear John.
Well, John is now unmuted. Sorry, I'm still learning this whole system. Thanks for joining us, John. Thanks for waiting in the green room.
No worries,
Again, this is my beta version of trying this out with all these people. Thanks for working with me. So, Adrian, those are some amazing tips. People are loving them. I'm loving how you're taking advantage and learning the Facebook groups and all this great stuff. People are loving. I'm talking about the Amazon and Chewy groups. I put it before. I'll add it again. Sherry Boyer talked about how you can get an affiliate commission through Chewy or Amazon. So that's an easy way to do it. Chad,
I have to figure that out. I knew that in the back of my mind, but I have to figure it out, because now it's definitely a time where it's probably people are gonna be able to use that. You put shopping lists and you send them to your clients, your online clients, and then
that's where you make money through it.
A little bit, at least something.
John, Victoria, do you do stuff like that as well?
I have a couple free Facebook groups, but I haven't tried to monetize them yet. So because we do the service dogs, I have a free one for our podcast. I have a paid one for course members. I have another a private one for course members, and another private one for people who do our in-person school. So then we could talk about.
You froze.
course, free group, and it will remain
There
a free
you
group, guys. Don't worry.
That's great.
Yeah, I just basically have the Facebook group for my clients, and that's pretty much it. I built an online course back in December, and it just so happened it was great timing for all this. So I was able to kind of transition to that, and like everybody else has been doing, just go into the doing more video, shut down in person, pretty much what everybody else is doing, the same thing. The biggest thing I found is, I think the one thing we do is it gives our clients an hour to just not watch the news. So we can just talk dogs for an hour. And that's pretty much a lot of, we're still doing the training, of course, but it kind of gets everybody's mind off what's going on. So, I mean, that's been the cool part.
That's great. Yeah. Great social engagement, and,
Yes.
adding a service and keeping that relationship going with your students is just as important. It's not just about training their dogs, it's helping them live with their dogs as well. That's
100%,
awesome.
because they're doing a lot of it right now.
Yeah, as we're talking about, as this changes, they'll realize, oh my God, all the stuff we might have unintentionally caught or done. So, sorry, I messed that up. Someone posted up here, but all the way they're living with their dog, they're going to have to learn how the things they were doing before are now affecting them because they're home longer. Something other people were bringing up, they can cause separation anxiety unintentionally.
Yeah.
They can't step out and they need to step out. But one of the things, I know you guys in other parts of the country have more space. Here in Brooklyn, the simple thing of even just putting a crate in a bedroom and you hanging out in a living room and having that structure even during the day when they're working from home is a huge deal. Again, other parts of the country, even people in Brooklyn have brownstones, but separating yourself from your dog, but even just talking about that. And back to the Facebook groups, you were talking about doing a live in the Facebook groups, doing conversations. And that's why I like this app, I brought in one of my students to bring the perspective from how they see things and they do things as well. And I don't know if people realize, you can do Facebook Lives or Instagram Lives. I actually created a private page in Instagram. So if I do a live or something there, it's still only to my students. So you can still have a private thing. It's just you have to accept them to follow your page. I'm looking into apps. I was talking with somebody else today, my friend Gina, about some programs that allow you to do lives from both Facebook and Instagram. We're still figuring that out. But again, more ways to reach people. So John, since we just got you on, talk a little bit about what kind of business you run. Is it in-home, facility, private, board and train?
Yeah, so I have a facility inside of a vet's office that I train out of. So I do, group board and train at my house. I'm lucky that I kind of live outside the city, so I have some land, so I can do the board and trains there, but do private lessons at the vet's office. So I've shut down all my lessons there, though. Kind of just went to video only, and then just doing board and trains and video lessons right now. But yeah, typically that's what I do. It's private lessons and board and train, some group classes.
Yeah, that's great.
And the legislative committee stuff, of course.
You want to talk a little bit about that while you're here? It's one of the reasons I brought you on.
Join the legislative watchdogs, yes.
Can you explain what that is? A lot of people ask, and why is it so important to have more people in that?
We have thousands of members in the IACP. So, all over the globe. And there's legislation popping up everywhere. Unfortunately, most of the time we're reactive. Something pops up, we get a message, hey, this is going on. And at that point, all of this is voluntary for all of us. So we're kind of in between lessons, doing stuff, spinning our wheels, trying to figure stuff out. The legislative watchdogs is members they're looking in their own community. They know what's going on. They're monitoring laws. So if they see something start, they can get the word to us, and we can start in the beginning, so we have a voice from the beginning. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do. We're not anti-law. We're just anti-ridiculous laws. And unfortunately, that's what, they mean well. A lot of legislators mean well, but it ends up just spiraling out of control and becoming something crazy.
And if you think about what's going on now with the community, I just saw, I'm not going to say where, but there was an article from a different organization that was talking about, are these online things good? And yeah, great article. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Except, of course, it had to go into make sure you don't hire someone that does A, B, C, and D. So again, they're trying to go that route. So that's one of the main things we try to do with the IACP is support the humane use of tools, techniques, and things like that. So the Watchdog Committee is extra eyes around the globe so we can help. If we don't know about it, we can help. The sooner we know about something, we can help. So what would you say, you want from people? Is there a time commitment? Is there a membership level they have to be?
So, it's easier if they're a professional member, then it's pretty easy. They don't have to necessarily be a professional member. We take it on a case-by-case situation based on where we have the coverage. So as the legislative watchdogs, as they're monitoring stuff, once let's say they see something and it gets pushed up to the committee, now we kind of formulate a response. So we, get the letter up to Melanie. Melanie approves it. Rick approves it. So Rick's the board oversight. Then it goes to Melanie and it goes out to the legislator. At that point, all of the committees involved, we're throwing in ideas. How are we going to handle this strategy, the whole 9 yards? So once it starts building and we need somebody on the ground in that area, that's when we pull the watchdog back in. So at that point, they're on the ground there, ideally meeting with the legislator as a personal representative in their office. Hey, I'm with the IACP. I'm the person on the ground. So that's pretty much what it's not a huge commitment. Not like the committee. The committee's a whole different, level. But the watchdog is how much can you do? Can you just monitor laws in your own area and just be ready if we need you?
Yeah. Even if you just see a post somewhere, an article somewhere, let us know, because that's what it can lead to. So I know we're talking. Yeah, sorry.
The e-collar ban in Hawaii is a good example. I mean, that just came out of nowhere, and we were just, spinning right off the bat trying to get something in, a member's hands out there. California, state of Washington, South Carolina, Massachusetts, New Jersey. I mean, it's, up until everywhere. A month ago, it was pretty active. So, join the legislative watchdogs.
Thank you.
Yes,
Adrian?
Yes.
I saw you. I don't know if you had something to add or something to say.
Or I was blowing hair off my face.
Blowing hair off your face. Okay, it's all good.
No, I have a lot to add. I mean, I'm in Texas. Nothing. It's kind of a come and get me state. But it really is. Like, the governor is not. The governor, it's the most libertarian state on the planet next to Idaho. But nobody knows about Idaho, and please don't ever find it on your map. No, it's the best kept secret on the planet. Bill Church will back me up on that. But no, I'm with you. I've been really interested to follow all of these states and how they're progressing. And I write what I can write, and as little as whatever good it can do, I will do it. I used to actually work in Senator John Cornyn's office before I became a dog trainer. Yeah. So I really give a crap. I
can't bleep you, so be nice.
No, I'm really monitoring my words. But I really care about these kinds of legislations in the United States and elsewhere.
Great.
And I want to do what I am able to do, and I appreciate everything the legislative community and the watchdogs are doing.
Awesome.
I really do. Awesome. I think Legion is a relatively new Facebook group that has popped up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from. It just was all of a sudden like, boom, there it is. And they love the IACP. I love them.
Yep.
There are some, as in every group, there are some extremists in there that is more about emotion than anything else. But ultimately, it's about education, about what's going on. And it's a really nice resource. I invited Rick Alto into that group, and it's been really fun to watch I don't get super involved in debates on Facebook anymore. It's a little bit exhausting, but I do action when there's action called and when things are coming down. So I really appreciate y'all, and I appreciate, like you wouldn't believe, the legislative committee and I'm a libertarian, dude. I want to be able to do what I want to do.
Well, thank you for all that. And Melanie, also wanted to thank John for all your hard work on legislative committee, and Rick, as you mentioned before, and the whole team and everybody that's on it. I don't know if I start naming names because I know I'll miss people.
I really believe, and this is what makes me love the IACP. I fully believe in self-regulation, and the reason I can have faith in that system is because the IACP has such high standards on how we treat dogs. You don't all have to feel the same or think the same or train the same, but there are standards. Exactly. There is a line. It's right there. You know, when you become a member, you agree to it. Yep. And when the IACP or groups like the IACP are able to self-regulate successfully, and we can prove that to our state governments and to the federal government, then we don't need these. We can fight back on these kinds of laws. Exactly,
100%. Victoria, sorry, John.
I was going to say, Jason, you're going to shout out the committee. So in Canada we have Cameron Samoiloff and Duke Ferguson. Australia, Pat Stewart. D. Holt, who you just had on a little while ago. Patrick Lockett over in Europe. Jeff Leavitt in Tennessee. So it's, when I first got on it last year, I'm sitting there, I'm in the committee and I'm looking at Ivan Balabanov, Mark Connolly, and the guys we have on now, and I'm just going, I'm like pinching myself, man, because I'm like, this is awesome. This is great.
Fabulous group.
Yeah, great lineup, great people, great trainers. Yeah.
And Heather Beck, she chaired it before, and tough shoes to fill because and she's a hard charger, no doubt about it.
Yeah. Victoria, I don't want to leave you out.
No, it's good listening.
Yeah, good listening. So, unless anybody wants to add anything, this has been great. Yeah. I think if you guys think, comment if you think you're enjoying this, and we can do this again. I'm going to do individual trainer spotlights and conversations, but I also think this group talk show type thing can be fun. I think it's better when everybody can speak on how I started it. So we'll move that forward.
I have one last thing.
Okay, sure.
Here's the thing. The world is slowing down. It's a forced slowdown, right? Everyone's having to stay home.
Yeah.
And face some stuff.
100%.
Like when you're forced to stay home, you kind of come to face with some stuff. Those of us who are business owners are hustling. Unless we're scared and paralyzed. And if you're scared and paralyzed, there's help out there for you. Sherry Boyer is amazing. Cameron Thompson is amazing.
100%. Love them both. Great.
Like there are some seriously huge heavy hitters out there that have information for you on how to do this. But while the world is slowing down, those of us who are trying to hustle, I'm a hustler.
I can tell.
I'm stupid. I'm stupid insane. All right. And we need, if we are business owners and we're trying to hustle here, we got to really make sure that we take some time to also be quiet. You start your day being quiet, because if you're just throwing around like in a panic and you're just creating froth in the water, we really got to make sure that, like, talk to Birdie. I'm sure Birdie would love to talk to anybody, right?
Yep.
Birdie Oshidi.
Birdie Oshidi also will be presenting at conference on the topic.
Yes.
Just letting everybody know. Got to put a little plug in. She will be presenting on burnout at conference.
Yes, we all need to make sure we take some time also to make sure that we're not just hustling. We need to feed ourselves and walk ourselves and
our dogs.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Our dogs help us slow down.
Well, here's the thing. We're all really pretty good at doing that for our dogs. What about we are.
Yeah, but how many people say I don't have time to train my dog? You make excuses for how their dog is. So do something different. Do a trick. Like the stupid pet tricks.
Honestly,
do something
one of
different.
These stupid online classes that seem stupid to you as a trainer because our standards are so high. My enrichment class is the one that's taking off, and it's dumb. Like, y'all, it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be
Oh my
so
God,
much
you're
fun.
right.
We're gonna have dogs standing on pots.
I love that
So-
you
so
bring
you're
in
trading
household
pot.
items. That's freaking awesome.
Well, and I'm gonna make my dog stand up. None of my dogs have stood on a pot before. We're gonna do it. You know, but we also as an industry, because we're all, so many of us think that we're non-essential. There are also those of us, like Sherry will tell you this, hands up, we're not non-essential. We are essential personnel. We need to prove it to the government that we're essential personnel, that people need us. But we need to take time to just.
I agree. But that's what our dogs do. And Victoria was saying that too. Our dogs, to me, they do help me slow down. They do also get us out of the house because we're allowed to go walk our dogs. So take advantage of that. I'm taking advantage of the quiet Brooklyn streets where people actually leave me alone and don't try to pet my dogs. And I loved it because I stopped the other day, earlier today, with a person with his dog who was taking the whole sidewalk. And I didn't have to say anything. I just waited. He goes, oh, sorry. Loved it. So I get to have a little more peace with my dogs and people leave me alone. Because when I'm walking my dogs, it's my time. My time with my dogs. Leave me alone. You don't need to pet. You don't need to talk. You don't need to do kissy noises. Stay out of my way. And
Jason, one of these days you need to do a live just comparing country trainers.
Oh, I've thought about doing a live when I'm walking my dogs. Elizabeth Vasconi, I would call her doing I do a 2-mile walk. I would call her and she goes, I love hearing you when you're walking the dogs and the things you have to say to people. And I'm like, yeah, it happens a lot. I happened on the phone with Jamie the other day, dog on a long leash runs up to my 77-pound dog that has a high prey drive and will eat the dog. But he's on a leash, but he's running to my dog. So sorry, but that's Brooklyn. We're all on top of each other, but it's a little nicer now.
It's total. I'll tell you something. I'll confess something to everybody.
Okay.
Like on the world, because that's where we are right now.
Remember on the IACP page.
I don't walk my freaking dogs. I have 6 acres.
You're in a country. It's different living.
And unless I make a point to take them into town, my town, or into Austin to do some and really when I do that, it's like promo training. Like I'm going to train in public to hopefully ramp up some interest, right? I'm wearing my shirt. I've got my sign out, blah, blah, blah.
Promo.
But I don't walk my dogs. It's not part of my daily life. I go out and we run around like crazy people on my property. I don't, it's not something they normally experience. And I've seen, they're very different dogs. Urban dogs that do that every day versus country dogs or people who train in facilities. I think when I trained in facilities, my dogs didn't get walked either because we went to the facility and after hours I had the freaking facility and they got tired.
But that's one of the things to think about now. Your target, your client base, how can you help them in this situation? I'm dealing with a lot of my students right now. They're, they don't have the dog walker. They have to walk their dog more. Their dogs are getting accustomed to something that's different. So we gotta, stay in touch and help our students. But we're about an hour and 20 in. So I want to wrap this up, save some for next time. Okay. Again, appreciate everybody jumping on. Definitely peace out, back at you type of thing. Right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Stay safe and we'll do this again. Please, anything that you have links wise, I know you already did it, Victoria. Look at the feed, post in there. Also last thing I want to put out, we are looking to do this for the European and Australian members. Glenn Cook's gonna work with me. I probably won't be here. Let Glenn manage it as much as I can, and we're gonna do this at a different time that appeals to them because we want to reach everybody. This is the international association, so we started here, but we're going to try to reach everybody. Just bear with us as we figure this out, like everybody else is too. Again, I appreciate everyone's time that came on today. Everyone that's commenting, this has been awesome, I feel, and helpful. And we'll do it again. Have a great one.
Awesome.
See you guys.
Great
Thank
job,
you.
Jason. Great job, Jason.
Thank you.
Good job, Jason. See you later. Adrian, Victoria.